Okay, so I'm back from seeing A Quiet Place. I actually got back a while ago, but I had to eat dinner. But anyway, so thoughts on the movie? Well, it's short. I'll give it that. It's only 95 minutes long. It is kind of briskly paced. I mean, everything kind of goes beat to beat to beat to beat because, well, there's really no dialogue in this movie. There's like two, I would say, actual scenes of dialogue, not counting the occasional like grunt or scream or gasp even. But other than that, like I said, there's only two scenes of dialogue. This centers around a world that something has come along. They don't really state exactly. There's no real background to it. It's just these creatures have appeared. We don't know if they're from outer space. We don't know if they're any like that. And they hunt via sound. So if you make any noise, you get hunted down and you're done for, basically. There's not much you can really do. And we follow along a family, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, with their three kids. The oldest is a daughter and two young boys. The youngest boy is killed off very early on. That's the scene with the kid playing with the toy space shuttle that he accidentally turns on, and the father tries to get him, but the creatures come along. The creatures are basically bad xenomorph knockoffs. They're not really terrifying. I mean, the only kind of cool thing is their heads are all ears because they don't have eyes or anything of that nature. They're all ears. It's definitely a mood piece. Like I said, there's just no dialogue because they do their best to keep quiet. At the beginning of the film, you see it's 93 days after everything went to crap, and the oldest daughter. I should also point out the daughter is deaf. She has a cochlear implant that the father keeps trying to sort of fix and tweak so that she can hear maybe a little bit better, or even pick up a radio transmission if need be. And that does sort of pay off later in the film, which I'll get to. Also, the mother is pregnant. I'm kind of doing some of the math here because, like I said, we start at day 93, and then we jump to day 472, and I started trying to do the time frame, and I think she was pregnant at the beginning of the film as well. It's not like a recent thing. And as the father and son are fishing, they're out fishing. What they do is it's again a kind of cool scene. It's cool that it's basically what would happen if you had to live in this type of scenario. And so it's like they fish and they have to go to a babbling brook, the stream basically, and they set up these traps to catch the fish. And that's basically the only way they can do it. Exactly, like they can't plop things in there. They can't make sounds, even though later if they stand next to a waterfall, they can actually talk a little bit because the sound from the waterfall masks the sound of their voice. Along this way too, the daughter, her name is Reagan. They name the characters in this, but I think I only caught one name on the end credits. The family's name is Abbott. But the daughter, Reagan, she sort of blames herself for what happened to her younger brother. She was the one who gave him the toy of the space shuttle. He was the one who grabbed the batteries off the store shelf. So, and it stings the family a bit that the father, when he goes off to go fishing, she actually wants to come along. She feels that she's a little more able-bodied than her brother to do so, but he says, no, you need to stay here with your mother. She's pregnant. She needs you here. And she sort of takes that as he blames her for what happened. And he kind of says that's not really the case. But anyway, as the father and son are out fishing, the mother catches her a burlap sack that she's carrying on a nail, and it kind of makes some noise, and it starts to make some noise, and she starts to, and she's hanging her laundry, and she's bringing it in, and that's when her water breaks and starts to go into labor, and it's making a lot of noise, and it's bringing the creatures. Along the way, too, there's another scene where the father and son bump into an old man who just lost his wife in a similar fashion, and he sort of gives the indication that he's going to scream, and the father basically says, just wait until we're gone, just wait until we're gone, but he doesn't for some reason. Like, dude, show some courtesy. And that's basically when the house kind of gets to be under siege a little bit, as she's, like I said, the wife is in labor. She manages to give birth. The family tries to run some distractions, like they light some fireworks off to basically, leave the creatures away long enough. Anyway, at some point, though, they all get separated. Like, the daughter had kind of run off, and so she was trying to make her way back to the farm. She managed to reconnect with the one son. The woman gives birth to a son also, by the way. And the father goes out to get the kids, and as this is happening, though, unfortunately, he doesn't notice there's a broken water pipe that is trickling water down into the basement, and that leads to one scene where it looks like they may have killed the baby, but no, the baby does not die. The good news, no dead babies in this movie, thankfully. Basically, the father winds up having to sacrifice himself to save the kids. Along the way, too, the daughter kind of discovers that when the creatures are trying to signal each other and her cochlear implant is on, it creates this big feedback loop that actually hurts the creatures. And a couple of the creatures get into the house a couple of times, and at one point she turns on her cochlear implant. She sticks it up. They have a radio transmitter to try to contact any semblance of help via Morse code by sending out SOS in the Morse code. And she takes the implant and she sticks it up next to the microphone, and it creates this big feedback loop that distracts one of the creatures long enough for the mother to shoot it with a shotgun and kill it. And then they notice a whole bunch of other creatures are coming, and she basically looks at the daughter and says, do it again, and cocks the shotgun, and, well, that's how the film ends. This movie is not bad. I can't say that. It is sort of a mixed bag, though. It's a good concept, and I think it kind of gets stuck in its really good concept, because there are just times where it's like, there's because the daughter's deaf, so they all know sign language, so they have that going for them, and that does help a little bit break up some of the monotony of the total silence. But there's a lot of little weird contrivances. Again, there's like, someone dropped something and it makes a big splash, or it makes a big noise, and they have to like lay low. There is a really corny jump scare involving some raccoons that are on the roof of their house, and they jump down and they run off. Exactly. Then we get the second jump scare because the two raccoons are making so much noise that one of them basically gets snatched right off the road. So yeah, it's like there are good scenes within that tension. Again, the monsters themselves, unfortunately, are just not scary. They're scary when they're not seen, and you have to wonder if one's going to pop up. That works pretty well, but yeah, the visual of the monsters themselves is just kind of flat. It does kind of knock it down a little bit for me. Again, performance-wise, again, because it's so silent, it's kind of hard to rate. You can't really rate dialogue by it. The performances are pretty good. The girl, Millicent something. Is it Millicent Good? That's it, Millicent Good. She's pretty good. I mean, she's actually deaf in real life, so it probably helps playing a deaf girl in that case. But yeah, she's actually pretty good. I'd like to see her in something else too. The boy is just kind of there. He's uninspired. The parents are really good. There's no real other humans in the movie, so that's kind of where everything is. And this movie was sort of mismarketed as it was more of an art house cerebral type thriller. Like, I don't want to say cerebral, but yeah, it was supposed to be in the vein of something like what was the big one there? All the critics liked and all the audiences hated. It was It Comes at Night. I think It Comes at Night. It was marketed as being in the vein of that, but really it's just a kind of straightforward horror story. And as a straightforward horror story, it's not bad. Like I said, it's not bad. It's just I did feel it was maybe lacking a little bit. Like it maybe. I mean, after a while, the tension just kind of becomes a little monotonous. That's just the thing. Like, okay, when is someone else going to make a noise here, and they're going to wind up in trouble again? So, like, it is kind of. I wish maybe there was something more. Like, we could have, pan over those headlines a little bit more. Maybe get something more of akin to a backstory of what was going on. I did. That was where the story just kind of lost me a little bit. Like I said, I started looking at my watch about, let's say, halfway through the movie, which doesn't help. But like I said, it's not bad. I'm just repeating myself at this point. So yeah, I'm going to give A Quiet Place a C.
They live by the law, but they don't play by the rules.
I am not against earning a buck as long as we don't sell off our humanity in the process.
Juries don't like bulldozing, shop-busting, butch lady lawyers any better than I do.
Thank you for sharing that insight with me.
People living on the edge of justice. L.A. Law, Fridays this fall.
Okay, trailer time. And really we only have one new trailer, and that was for Truth or Dare. And no, not the Madonna one. It's a horror movie from Blumhouse, and this one actually looks more like a kind of cheesy, corny horror movie about a Truth or Dare game that becomes real. An evil spirit basically possesses it and forces the people to continuously play this game and to continuously take dares, because at one point someone does try to say truth, and it's like, no, that's not how this works. And it's like, yes it is. It's called Truth or Dare. Yeah, yeah. But I think it's coming out the same day as Avengers Infinity War, so I don't know if I'll... It looked like... It might say wait till video on that, or Netflix or whatever on that one. Other than that, we have Super Troopers 2 again, Rampage again, that'll be the next film, Deadpool 2 again, Solo, A Star Wars Story again, and Avengers Infinity War again. So yeah, pretty lacking in the trailer department. I kind of wish they'd thrown something else on there. Exactly, it's like, seriously, we're a week away from Rampage. I think we could maybe take the Rampage trailer out. So yeah, okay, so next video up is going to be the NXT TakeOver New Orleans recap and review, then the WrestleMania recap and review. Don't know if I'll try to maybe get a Marvel Netflix catch up again out soon, hopefully, so I can at least start to get through that, because yeah, even I'm kind of sick of getting hung up on this stuff. Then the next movie will be Rampage, and then the Astro City review. See you all then. Hey guys, is there a movie you want me to tackle? Even if it's some stinker like Baywatch or the Emoji Movie or something else? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time for Cat Productions. See how you can make that happen.